Hey kiddos, have you ever heard of The Selfish Giant? It's a magical story about a giant who learns a huge lesson about sharing and kindness. Grab your snacks and cozy up, because this story is going to be a treat. Once upon a time, there was a giant who had a beautiful garden. It was filled with lovely trees, colorful flowers, and soft green grass. The children loved playing there, and their laughter made the garden even more magical. But one day, the giant came back from a long trip. He was shocked to see the children playing in his garden and shouted, "Hey, this is my garden. You all need to leave." The children were so scared and ran away. The giant built a tall wall around his garden and placed a sign that said, "No trespassing." From that day on, the garden became silent. The trees stopped blooming, the flowers wilted, and the birds flew away. It was always winter in the garden, no matter what season it was outside. The giant couldn't understand why his garden had become so cold and lifeless. One morning, the giant woke up to the sound of birds singing. He peeked outside and saw that the children had found a tiny hole in the wall and were playing in the garden again. Everywhere the children went, flowers bloomed and trees started to blossom. The giant realized that the garden was happiest when the children were there. Feeling a change in his heart, the giant decided to knock down the wall. He invited all the children back to play in his garden. The garden came back to life with flowers, birds, and sunshine. The giant learned that happiness comes from sharing and being kind to others. From that day on, the giant was never selfish again. He played with the children, and his garden was the most beautiful in the land. And so the selfish giant became the kind giant, and everyone lived happily ever after. So remember, friends, sharing and kindness bring joy not just to others, but to us as well. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to share this story with your friends. See you next time.